Most people are there very hesitant on going to the kitchen and cooking themselves a delicious meal. Most people would rather go out to eat or even call in delivery. I'm here to tell you that it's very easy to cook at home and it's very cost efficient. I'm here to show you how to roast a perfect chicken. Now, they're going to need a couple of things to do this. You're going to need a whole chicken, such as this one. A couple of key ingredients are going to be fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, half of a lemon, some garlic, and a bay leaf. Also, you're going to need butcher's twine. This is going to be for trussing up a chicken, which I will demonstrate on how to do later on. You also need about a quarter cup of melted butter. That way you can coat the chicken and make it nice and shiny. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have your chicken cleaned. Now, just take it, when you get it out of the bag, you want to take it and put it under the sink and give it a nice clean wash. This washes all the chemicals that it was stored in off the bird and gives you a nice clean chicken. Now, first of all, when you're dealing with raw chicken, you're going to have to worry about salmonella. That way, if you take everything you need and have it all in one pile, you don't have to cross-contaminate by reaching in different areas of the kitchen. My favorite way to do it is to just take everything you're going to stuff into the bird and put it all into one big handful. That way you only have to reach in once and reach out, and then you can go and sanitize your hands and prepare for your next step. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again, I have 1 lemon, garlic, and some rosemary, some thyme, and a bay leaf. Now what you want to do is just stuff it all the way into the cavity of the bird. Make sure none of it's sticking out or poking out. And you want to kind of reshape your bird. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is called trussing. Now, trussing is basically just tying the chicken up so it looks neat. But also, this cooks the bird evenly and it will not fall apart in the oven. Now, you want to take your string, take about 2 feet, and this will be just enough. You want to fold it in half and take the halfway point. This is going to be your starting point. Now, you want to take the bird and you want to put the cavity towards you, and you want to go under the feet. And once you go under the feet, you want to cross over the string, and then you want to pull it tightly. That way the legs cross. Next, you want to go around the drumsticks and between the breasts, such as that, and flip the bird over. Once you flip the bird over, you want to pull the string all the way through and around the neck. And once you go around the neck, you can tie it off as so. You can cut the little strings off later, but you want to make sure you go back and you twist the little wingtips underneath of the butcher's twine. That way it stays together all the way through the cooking. Now this helps when you do this to make sure that it's nice and cooked. That way when you put it down onto the hot oven, you get a nice even brown color. Otherwise you're going to have, white parts of the chicken and then brown parts of the chicken. Alright, so now we're trussed up and ready. Everything looks nice and tied, and we're ready to go and cook the bird. Now you want to turn your oven up to about 500 degrees, and when you do that, you want to take your pan, such as this one, and put it in as you're heating up the oven. That way the pan heats up too. That way you're not sticking a cold pan into a hot oven. You won't get a perfect sear that way. Now once the pan is hot, it should smoke a little bit. That's normal. You want to take your oil and then pour it onto the pan. Now when you do this, be careful because it will spatter. Once the oil is hot, it will tend to jump out and bite you. So be careful with that. So once the oil is on the hot pan, you want to take your bird and you want to put it breast down. This way you get a nice perfect presentation when you turn it up. So once you get the breast down, you put it in the oven for about a half an hour, I'd say. And then just let it cook. Once it's cooked for a half hour, you want to take the bird and you want to flip it over. Now, it's going to be hot, so use tongs. Be very careful because the oil will spatter out at you. Excuse me. Now, the next thing you want to do is baste it. And now basting it, you're just taking the pan and taking a spoon, and you're going to be taking the drippings and covering the chicken. This keeps it nice and juicy and tender. Now, you'll want to do this about 5 or 6 times through the last cooking process of the chicken, which will be about 25 minutes. The way you can see this is to take a meat thermometer, such as this, and stick it into the thigh. Now, when you stick it into the thigh, you want to make sure it goes at least halfway through it because the register is only right through there. So, when you do that, you want to make sure it registers at least 170. If you don't register that, you need to cook it longer because you don't want to be eating raw chicken. It will make you very sick. So, once you're at about 170, your bird's ready to come out of the oven. Now, what you want to do is you want to put it on a clean rack and then tin it with some aluminum foil. Now, this keeps it hot, and it also lets the juices suck back into the chicken, which keeps it nice and juicy. So you want to do that for about 15 minutes before you start carving on it. Now, once you get on that, your bird is ready to eat. And that's how you cook a perfect bird. Now, this recipe would be great with some garlic mashed potatoes or some fresh steamed vegetables. I prefer green beans and almonds. It's a great way to do it. And if for this recipe and any other kind of recipes, I would suggest looking at this book. It's the Williams-Sonoma version of roasting. And I've found it very helpful, and I think you will too. So now that you know how to cook a chicken, I hope to see you in the kitchen. Thank you.